Hi everyone, and welcome back to Easy Cooking with Linda B. I am so excited. Christmas is around the corner. It's my favorite time of year because every year I love to bake goodies for all my friends and family. And I have 4 very festive holiday treats here for Christmas gifts that are super easy to make. And I'm going to show you each one and how I prepared them. So the first of my sweet treats that I will be making for Christmas gifts are my sweet and salty candy crunch. I'm going to show you how I put it all together. All right, so in a large bowl, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about 1.5 cups. So right in here I have 1 cup of corn chips. And you know what? It's probably going to end up being about 2 cups of everything. So I'm just going to pour it in my measure. I'm going to put 2 cups of pretzels. We'll also take 2 cups of trail mix. And then I'm going to take 1 cup of the dried cherries. This is a 5-ounce bag. So actually just take your 5-ounce bag and put it inside here. Okay, now mix everything together. Okay, so in my saucepan here, I have melting my 2 sticks of butter. And now what I will do is get my brown sugar ready. I want 1 cup of packed brown sugar. Just like this. Now I am making the toffee that's going to hold or act as a glue for the mixture that I have in that bowl. So I'm going to remove it from the heat. Work with this carefully because it's very hot. And start to mix these so all the pieces are coated. And what I have here is a baking tray lined with aluminum foil. Okay, now that I have this fairly well mixed together, I'm going to place it into my baking tray. So what I will do here is take my spatula, press it into the pan. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken some foil and I'm just patting down my mixture to make sure I have it spread out all over my tray. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is take this, put it in my 350-degree oven, and I'm going to bake it for 8 minutes, and then I'll show you what we do next. All right, so the Candy Crunch is now out of the oven, okay, but it's not finished. So the next thing we have to do is we're going to take our chocolate bits. Now the recipe calls for, I think, about 1.5 cups. So what I will do is generously sprinkle over the top. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this, put it back in the oven for 2 minutes, let that chocolate melt, and as soon as it comes out, we're going to spread the chocolate all over. I'll show you how it looks. Okay, so now the chocolate is melted. What I will do now is spread it all over the top. After this, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, and then when it's done, I'll take it out and I'll show you what it looks like when we start breaking it up. Okay, for my next recipe, and this one is a favorite of everyone, I am going to make magic cookie bars. They're so simple to make. I'm going to show you how to put it all together. Okay, so now to start out this recipe, I have 1 stick of butter. What I will do is I'm going to take it, put it in my foil-lined pan. This is a 9x13 pan. I will now put this in my oven, which is heated at 350 degrees, and I will put it in there until it melts. Okay, so as you can see, the butter is almost completely melted. So just kind of keep it moving in there and it'll eventually all melt. So now the next thing I'm going to do is make the crust. This is graham cracker crumbs. I'm going to take it and I'm going to spread it all over the bottom of the pan. What you want to do is make sure that all the butter is absorbed, and you may have to add more crumbs as you go along. This is all pressed into place. I'm going to wash my hands and I'll be right back and I'll show you what we do next. So the first thing we'll do is take our chocolate bits, sprinkle them all over the bottom of the crust. So this is what I'll put on next, is the butterscotch. Just about a cup of almonds. Sprinkle them all over. And now I will add my dried cranberries. And then what I'm going to do is now take about 6 ounces of shredded sweetened coconut. Now I'm going to take my can of condensed milk, open it up, and start to drizzle this all over. What I want to do is make sure there's enough on here to add the moisture and hold everything together as it bakes. So when it cools down and you cut them, they stay together as well, a bar. So I will work with this. Now once I get all my condensed milk poured all over the top, I will put in my 350-degree oven for 25 minutes. Once that's done, I'll take it out and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, for my third sweet treat, I am going to make white chocolate Christmas bark. A lot of you know how to make this. I love it because it makes a lot and you could have fun decorating it. And that's what I'm looking forward to. So let me get started by showing you what we do first. In my pan here, I have a full sleeve of saltine crackers that are lined on aluminum foil. Make sure you have foil, because without the foil, you'll never get these guys apart. So over here in my saucepan I have heating up, I'm going to take 2 sticks of butter, which is 1 cup, and I'm going to get that melted. At this point, I will add 1 cup of brown sugar. So it's 1 cup butter, 1 cup brown sugar. And it's packed, as you can see. Okay, so I'm going to get this added in. Then I'm going to mix the two together. I want to make sure that all the sugar is dissolved. That's why it's important to cook it for 3 minutes. Plus, it gives you that nice caramel flavor to it. My timer is going off. I'm taking this off of the heat. So now over here, take your caramel sauce and carefully and slowly pour it all over your saltine crackers. Just like this. So now with my offset spatula, I'm going to smooth the caramel sauce all over the top here. Trying to keep the crackers in its place. So that looks good right there. So now what I will do is take this and put it in my 350-degree oven, and I'm going to bake it for about 8 to 10 minutes until the caramel sauce becomes all bubbly. I'll take it out and then I'll show you what I do next. Okay, so here it is out of the oven. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just pushing the saltines kind of back in place so they'll stick together when they cool. And by the way, I'm not sure if I mentioned, but I'm using I believe it's a 10 by 15. Yes, a 10 by 15 baking tray. Okay, so we're not done yet. So the next thing I will do is I'm going to take my bag of white chocolate chips and pour it over the top like this. Try to get it evenly spread out as much as possible. Now what I will do at this point is take this, put it back in the oven for about a minute or 2 so the white chocolate starts to melt, and then I'll spread it all out. So here it is out of the oven. I did put it in for a minute and a half. Now I will spread the chocolate all over the top. It's easier if you use an offset spatula or a good kind of heavy-duty rubber spatula. Just makes it a little easier to spread across the top of the saltine crackers. Okay, so now comes the fun part, the decoration. I love doing this. You can use whatever you want to decorate yours. You don't even have to put anything on here. You can leave it just like this, let it cool and break it apart when it's completely set up. But that's not enough for me. I have to have fun with it. So I'm going to take some sprinkles or shots here and sprinkle them all over. So I want to put the smaller shots down first so they'll stick to the white chocolate. Just like that. I don't need a lot. Now I just found these the other day. These are called Silver Shimmer Sugar. So let's see what Silver Shimmer Sugar looks like. Oh, that's kind of neat. It would be great if it's for like New Year's. Pretty. I like that. And then what I did was I took a mixture of red and green sanding sugar, put them together, and now I could just go ahead and sprinkle them all over the top for a little extra color, just like that. Now, I also like little pretzels, so I took my mini pretzels and I had cut them down into smaller sizes or pieces, sprinkled them all on top. Then kind of push them down a little bit so they stick right inside of the chocolate and will stay there when it sets up. And then, of course, I love M&Ms. So I've got the holiday color M&Ms. I'm going to sprinkle them all over. All right, and my absolute favorite topping is crushed candy canes. So I will sprinkle them on here. Ooh, they're so pretty too. So I think that looks pretty good. So what I will do now is I'm going to put this in the refrigerator so it will set up, and I'll show you what it looks like when I take it out. Now the next thing I'm going to make for you is what I call White Christmas tingling candies. I'm going to show you how to put it all together. All right, now I'm going to be using my double boiler. So what I want to do first is melt my white chocolate. So here I have a 12-ounce bag. I'm going to take the chocolate, put it inside of here. All right, now my chocolate is almost completely melted. Now the difference with this being a white chocolate chips and not a melting chocolate is that there's stabilizers in the chocolate chips so that when you bake with them, they hold their shape. So it makes it difficult for them to melt. They will melt, but not as nicely. So you could see this is still a little thick. I mean, it's running smooth, but I'm going to take just a little bit of shortening here. I'm going to use like the tip of the spoon here, put that in. Just keep stirring it in good. As you can see now, it's starting to get a little more of a shine to it. Maybe if you could get in closer so they could see. It doesn't look as like milky, it's more shiny. Perfect. So now I'm going to turn off the heat. I am going to remove it from the heat. Now this is strictly optional. I have peppermint. I love peppermint. If you don't like peppermint, don't add it. But peppermint can be strong, so I'm going to add just about 1/8 of a teaspoon. And make it drizzle over a little bit. Oh, I think it is. I could smell it. It's pretty pepperminty. Just go ahead and stir that right in. All right, now before the chocolate starts to set up, I'm going to take slivered almonds so Laura can eat this candy. Mix these in well. If you find that it's starting to tighten up, just put it back over the boiling water or the hot water. It'll melt it a little more. Then what I have in here in this bag is chow mein noodles. They're actually kind of large, so what I did was I used my meat mallet and I cut them down into smaller pieces, and there's a cup in here. Stir that in so that the chow mein noodles and the almonds are completely coated, just like that. Okay, it's starting to get a little set up here, so now I'm going to work quickly. So I have my number 50 scoop here. Scoop this in here. And I'm going to set it on my foil-lined baking tray in mounds. I have my crushed candy canes here. Get that all around peppermint flavor and prettiness to it. So you want to go ahead and get your mounds on the tray here. So what I'll do is I'll get the tray all lined up. And then when it's done, I'll show you what it looks like before I refrigerate them. And here they are with a number 50 scoop. This is the size of the candy you got. Of course, if you want to make more, go with a smaller candy scoop or cookie scoop, and then you could spread it out and get more. Now, what I'm going to do is put them in the refrigerator, let them set up, and I'll put everything all together so you could see how these beautiful gifts are going to look when they're completed. And here they are, all put together. I'm so excited because they came out wonderful. And in this bag, I have some of the treats that I made, which is the bark. You could put it in these great little bags, put bows on them, or even get these wonderful little tins and put them inside here. And I also have other bags. You could get the plain baggies and then just put a bow on it. That looks very elegant. There's these decorative little bags you could get. These little boxes that you can assemble. And then you could also buy these little boxes to store your candies as gifts. So you don't have to spend a lot of money to show people how much you care and you love them. Because people really do appreciate gifts like this. So I hope you enjoyed watching my video and of me making these wonderful holiday treats. And please remember, enjoy life and never stop learning. Bye now.